Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. Today we're heading to Kerala, India.
Sounds intriguing.
It is. We'll be exploring Longinmura.
Longinmura.
Yeah, it's this really fascinating holistic art developed by a guy named Srikanth.
Oh, interesting. What kind of art?
Well, from what I've gathered from the sources, it's all about self-realization, self-healing, and even self-defense.
Oh, wow. All in one.
Right. And get this, it also ties into the Gaia movement.
Gaia movement. Okay, now you have to explain that.
So the Gaia movement is all about syncing with the Earth's natural rhythms.
I'm already intrigued. What else have you found?
We're talking some pretty amazing stuff. Intracellular cleansing, a self-defense system that zeroes in on conquering fear.
Fear, as in, like, being scared.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's wild, and there's a lot more to uncover.
Well, I'm all ears. Tell me more about this Longinmura. It sounds really different.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And to help us break it all down, we have expert joining us today.
It's great to be here. Happy to dive into this with you.
So let's start with the basics. What exactly is Longinmura?
In a nutshell, it's a holistic system that aims to integrate your mind, body, and spirit.
Okay, so it's not just about physical health.
Not at all. It's about recognizing that all those aspects, mind, body, spirit, they're all connected, and you have to address all of them to achieve true well-being.
That makes sense. Now, the sources mention these three pillars: self-realization, self-healing, and self-defense.
Right, those are the core principles. Self-realization is about understanding your place in the bigger picture. You know, like realizing you're not separate from nature, but a part of it.
Oh, I like that. This idea of interconnectedness.
It's a powerful concept, and it can really change how you view yourself in the world. And of course, it ties into the whole Gaia movement idea we were talking about earlier.
Right. So how does that play into emotional well-being then?
Well, when you see yourself as part of something bigger, it can bring a sense of peace and stability. Longinmura encourages things like mindfulness and reflection to help cultivate that connection and emotional resilience.
Makes sense. Okay, so what about self-healing? I'm super curious about the Longinmura diet they talk about.
It's less about restriction and more about understanding your body's needs. You know, like some cultures have rules about not mixing certain foods. Longinmura takes it a step further. It's about eating compatible food combinations at certain times and tailoring it to your individual constitution.
So it's personalized.
Exactly. It's about figuring out what works best for you.
That's so interesting. And what about this whole intracellular cleansing thing?
Oh, yeah. It's pretty amazing, actually. Think of it like a deep clean for your cells, flushing out toxins and waste that builds up over time.
Whoa. So like a cellular reset button.
Exactly. And Longinmura emphasizes that this process is key to helping your body heal and regenerate.
Makes sense. And speaking of healing, Srikanth is big on using herbs, right?
Oh, absolutely. Herbs are central to Longinmura.
What role do they play?
Well, they're not just seen as remedies, but tools for stimulating specific pressure points.
All at pressure points.
Yeah.
Like in acupuncture.
Yeah, kind of. It's based on this idea that you have energy pathways running through your body.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of that.
Right. And using specific herbs on certain pressure points can unlock and boost that energy flow, boosting your vitality. It's like a blend of herbal wisdom and energy work.
I'm starting to understand how all these pieces fit together.
Huh.
Okay, now for the part that throws me a little self-defense, it seems a bit out of place.
I know, right? But it's not about fighting in the traditional sense. Longinmura's self-defense is about inner strength and facing your fears head-on.
Wait, so overcoming fear is part of well-being?
Big time. Fear can be paralyzing, holding you back in life.
I can see that.
And these self-defense techniques, there are only 7 key ones. They work on strengthening your body and your endocrine system, which helps you regulate your emotions and handle stress better.
Gotcha. So it's not about brute force, it's about mastering your inner world.
Exactly. It's about finding that sense of balance and empowerment that impacts every part of your life.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. So we've got self-realization, self-healing, and this unique take on self-defense. Now let's circle back to the Gaia movement. How does it all connect?
Well, both Longinmura and the Gaia movement emphasize the interconnectedness of everything.
Right, we talked about that.
But the Gaia movement goes a step further. It suggests that the Earth itself is like this living, breathing organism.
Whoa, okay.
And it encourages you to sync your movements with the planet's natural rhythms, like its rotation and revolution.
So it's like grounding, but on a much grander scale.
Exactly. It's about tuning into something much larger than yourself and recognizing that you're a part of this incredible interconnected web of life.
It's pretty profound when you think about it.
It really is. And that shift in awareness, realizing you're part of this greater whole, can have a huge impact on your well-being.
Wow. So it's not just physical, it's mental and emotional too.
It's all of it. It's about understanding that everything is connected and finding harmony within yourself and with the world around you.
Yeah.
And it's really about shifting your whole perspective, you know?
It really is. Like it kind of challenges the way we normally think about health and well-being.
For sure. It's a total paradigm shift. Instead of seeing ourselves as broken and needing fixing, it's like embracing this idea that we have an innate capacity for healing, that we're already whole.
Yeah. It's like we've been trying to fit a square peg into a round hole this whole time. But Longinmura and the Gaia movement, they offer this different perspective, one that feels, I don't know, more natural.
Exactly. It's about tapping into the wisdom of my bodies and the wisdom of nature, letting that be our guide.
I love that. So it's less about forcing things and more about going with the flow.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And that applies to so many aspects of life, not just physical health, you know?
Okay, so to sum it all up, what would you say is like the essence of Longinmura?
Yeah.
And why does it matter, especially in today's world?
To me, it's about finding wholeness in a world that often feels so fragmented. It's about reclaiming our innate ability to heal and reconnect with the rhythms of nature. Not just the nature outside of us, but the nature within us, too. It's about balance, resilience, tapping into a deeper sense of well-being, one that impacts all areas of life.
It's like an antidote to all the craziness and stress, right?
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good way to describe it. In a world that's constantly bombarding us with information and demands, Longinmura encourages us to slow down, tune in, and reconnect with ourselves and with the natural world.
It's like hitting the pause button on life just for a moment and remembering what truly matters.
Exactly.
We've covered so much today: the Longinmura diet, intracellular cleansing, those self-defense techniques, and of course the whole idea of aligning with the Earth's rhythms.
And let's not forget about the importance of facing our fears. It's not about becoming fearless, but about finding that courage within to confront them and move through them. That's what ultimately allows us to live more authentically, more fully.
Wow. When you put it like that, it's pretty powerful stuff.
Yeah, it is.
And it's amazing how all these seemingly separate elements, self-realization, self-healing, self-defense, the Gaia movement, come together to create this whole system for well-being.
Right. It's not just about addressing symptoms. It's about fundamentally changing our relationship with ourselves, with nature, with the world.
Totally. It speaks volumes about Srikant's vision, his deep understanding of how everything is connected. I mean, that's what makes Longinmura so compelling, right? It's not just a set of techniques, it's a whole philosophy of living.
Absolutely.
You know, this deep dive has given me so much to think about, and I'm sure our listeners are feeling the same way. So before we wrap up, I want to leave everyone with a question to ponder. If our well-being is truly interconnected with the Earth, as both Longinmura and the Gaia movement suggest, what small steps can we take each day to align with its rhythms, to enhance our own health and harmony and the health of the planet?
That's a beautiful question. It reminds us that we have the power to make choices that support not only our own well-being, but the well-being of the Earth. Even the smallest actions can have a ripple effect.
It's true, like we're all part of this incredible dance, and every step matters. Well, that being said, I want to thank you for joining me on this deep dive into Longinmura and the Gaia movement. It's been quite the journey.
It really has. It's been a pleasure exploring these concepts with you.
And to all our amazing listeners, thanks for tuning in. We hope you found this exploration as insightful and inspiring as we have. And if you're curious to learn more about Longinmura and its approach to holistic well-being, we encourage you to do some digging. You might be surprised by what you find.
I second that. There's so much to discover.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. But until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.
Yeah.
It really is. It makes you realize that we can actually make a difference.
Right. We're not just along for the ride. We have the power to shape our own well-being and the well-being of the planet.
Exactly. And when we tap into nature's wisdom and align with its rhythms, who knows what we can achieve. It's pretty exciting.
It is. And it's not about reaching some perfect state of harmony. It's about taking small steps each day, making choices that bring us closer to that balance.
Yeah, one step at a time. Well, I think we've covered just about everything on Longinmura and the Gaia movement. For now, anyway.
It has been an incredible conversation. Hopefully our listeners got a lot out of it.
Yeah, me too. I know I've learned so much, and I'm definitely feeling inspired to try some of this out in my own life.
That's great. I think that's what makes these deep dives so special, that spark of inspiration that pushes you to learn more, make changes.
I totally agree. Well, to our amazing listeners, thanks for being here with us today. We hope you've enjoyed this deep dive into Longinmura.
And remember, even the tiniest steps towards aligning with nature's rhythms can make a huge difference. Whether you try incorporating some mindfulness into your day, exploring the power of herbs, or just taking a moment to appreciate the beauty of nature, there are so many ways to connect with this ancient wisdom and improve your well-being.
Beautifully said. Until next time, everyone, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.